have to start somewhere. And if you know you have the conviction to help someone, it doesn't matter where you are, and it's really interesting. I told you I've been listening to this podcast a lot. In this podcast with Michael Kitces and Carl Richards, this guy Carl Richards, he talks about how he's like, go look up this article called Financial Pro Loses His Home. And he has an article that he had a book coming out, like with a traditional publisher, and before the book came out, like right before, he lost his home, like he had to short sell his home in Las Vegas. And I went back after I listened to the podcast, and because he didn't tell the whole story, he's like, go read the story. And what happened was, essentially, the publisher said, word's out. Someone's going to write this article. Either you could write it or let someone else do it. And so he wrote it himself, and he was totally vulnerable. And he talked about how, he was a very, very successful financial advisor. He's like called the sketch guy. Like, yes. He does these, he does these little sketches, whatever. And so he was successful as a financial advisor, but apparently he made a lot of bad decisions on his own with his house. And, he kept basically leveraging it, and then he kept taking more money out of the house to get a second mortgage and all this. And then Las Vegas, especially the market crashed, and he was totally underwater, and so he had to let go of the house, and he felt like a total fraud. And there's a picture of him in front of his house, like, letting go of the house. Carl Richards. And he said,
Carl Richards isn't the sketch guy.
He's a sketch guy.
Well,
yeah. And he said that he thought it was doomsday. He thought this was the end of his career. He was like, I guess I'm just, whatever happens, happens, but I'm sure my clients will leave me, they'll hate me, whatever. And by the way, this podcast was the one I was talking about the other day, called Authenticity versus Professionalism. And he said he had clients like calling him. He said he got thousands of letters from people, and of course some of them were not nice, but most of them were like, thank you for sharing. Like, I finally feel like I'm not the only one that goes through this, and thank you for being authentic. And his clients went to bat for him. He said he lost no clients, and he kept growing his business because he was authentic about it. So what I was telling Kim last night is, I said, you don't have to pretend to these millionaires that you are a millionaire. I never told Denise I made more money than her. She knew I didn't make as much money. my whole thing's, half $500, $500,000, like, it's pretty obvious, so I never lied, I never pretended, whatever, but she saw the value. And just because, as much as the mentor test, you got to get some results, but those results could be very specific. Like, I've been able to sell higher ticket offers than Denise, right? And teaching her to raise her prices. I've been able to use a sales process. Like, I did that, and I can teach that, and I was able to help people do that. And I also just, sometimes I don't believe in the fake it till you make it thing, but I do believe in borrow the belief, right? Because I knew I had the potential, and I told Kim, I know I can see you doing this. Like, I know you can do this. And I keep, having this like visualization, and Pam told me to to notice these things, right? But I keep seeing you like at the table with these multimillionaires, and just having, like, being poised, having confidence, and just being real with them. You are kind of like the girl next door. Like, we want to talk to you. We want, like, everyone feels comfortable around you. You're not pontificating and being someone you're not. You'll never talk down to anyone, and you will be a multimillionaire, and you will be writing a $500,000 check. It will take some time, but I told her, like, she's going to be on CNN or something, and she's going to be having, like, they're going to show, these pictures are like, it's like, here we are, Kim Hamlin, and then someone else, and she's going to just have this opinion that a lot of people are going to hate, because she's going to basically say, like, the change that's going to happen in this world is on the shoulders of the wealthy, and people are going to be pissed. But it's just the truth. But she's going to talk about contribution and giving back, and stories about these wealthy people who made a lot of money for themselves but didn't feel fulfilled until they were able to save that money in a way, manage that money in a way, to grow that money in a way where they could give back even more. And then she's going to have a lot of haters because of it, but she's going to have a lot of people who support her, and she's going to be able to change the world because of it. And it's just, you can't let, like, the reality of whatever dollars are in your bank account prevent you from changing the world in the way you need to.